Everybody, you are back with the Real PG, bringing you another MLB player prop video for today, July the 7th. Before we get into the video, if I could please ask you guys to smash that like button, and if you've not yet gotten subscribed to the channel, make sure to get subscribed and turn your post notifications on to make sure you're getting the most up-to-date information for each and every slate. Real quickly, before we talk about the picks, would like to talk about the Sleeper app, guys. If you have not yet got signed up for Sleeper, it's a mobile-only app that you can get from your app store. Sign up today using promo code capital letters PG to get a 100% match on your first deposit up to $100, as well as exclusive access to the Sleeper Squad. We'll talk more about what the Sleeper Squad is in just a second. Real quickly, what's different about Sleeper? Each prop comes with a different risk level, as you know, and what they're doing in Sleeper, instead of paying with a static pay system, meaning everything pays the same, because every prop does have a different difficulty level, I think they should be paid as such, and that's why sportsbook have juice on the lines. So what Sleeper does is they run on a multiplier system that correlates to the juice on the books. So a line that is plus money on the books, you're going to get a higher multiplier than you would something that is a minus 150 on the books, or whatever, for example. So they have a variable pay system. You can get up to 100x per slip, and they run it in the traditional parlay fashion. So let's quickly talk about the Sleeper Squad. What that is more or less, it's a Discord within the Sleeper app, and you're allowed to post your lineups and share them with the group, and people are able to, prior to game time, tail them in the single click of a button. Other people in the group can post their lineups as well, and then afterwards it grades them, so you can see who's hitting, who's not, and you can tail those people from then on out. You know who's hot, and you stick with them. You know, somebody else gets hot, if it's not me, you can get on with that person. So you have just more than the ability to my plays now. You have the ability to other sharp people in the group that you can see have been doing well or haven't been doing well, and you wouldn't tell those people. So get signed up as Sleeper today, guys. It's an awesome site, an absolute gem, and I can't say enough good things about it. They're adding more good things by the day. So every day we generally take sleeper props, and today we're going to go back and we are going to look at some Prizepicks props, actually, just do something a little different today. So I have posted my free lineup as well as my flex for the day. I would be running a 6-man, but I do currently have a 6-man free entry for 12.5k, and I'm a little nervous to use it. I'm waiting for like what I'd consider a perfect slate, and this is not it in my opinion. But we're gonna look at some of these plays. So first and foremost, we'll take a look at Jordan Montgomery. So over on Sleeper, he is at 16.5. On the books, he is at 16.5 currently. Props.cash has the line set at 17.5. So, and the fact that Prizepicks has it middled at 17 makes me think that there's going to be a bump to 17.5 at some point today. Current juice on the books for Montgomery, let's take a look. See if we can find the St. Louis game. Here we go. And Jordan Montgomery pitching out is currently sitting at minus 150 to the over. So there is some good money on the 16.5. Like I said, it is bumped to 17 per usual on Prizepicks. I'm going to take this, as I do think that he gets through 6 innings of work today, and let's take a look at why. Let's hop over to props.cash. So with this line set at 17, he's hit in the last 5 games straight, and then he pushed the game prior. So basically 6 of the last 6. And he's facing a White Sox team today, and being a left-handed pitcher gives him a major advantage in this position. If we head on over to Fangraphs, take a look at what left-handed pitchers are doing against each team and the strikeout rate of each team. And if we look to the Chicago White Sox, this is over the past 30 days or so, guys, from 6-1. I want to keep it as recent as possible with still having a good sample size, and I think that 30 to 45 day range is right about where you should be. And over this time period, the Chicago White Sox at 328 plate appearances, so a very good sample size, have been striking out at a 27.1%, guys. That is absolutely disgusting. Dropping between 1 in 4 and 1 in 3 batters, every 1 in 3 batters to the strikeouts. Look at this, giving up more than the Giants, the Royals, the Mariners, some really bad teams when it comes to strikeouts, and you got the White Sox sitting worse. So I think Montgomery, even though I think the 5.5 strikeout line is a little high, and I think 5 is a pretty likely number today. Find this tab. I think that we're better off. You can look at the Ks lately, have been in the 5-6 range constantly. So I do see a possibility of landing on 5 just as likely as landing on over 5.5. So this line, you took minus 107 to the under, and when we looked on the sports books, it's juiced at plus money currently, plus 103. So even though the strikeout rate is high, I don't think he gets through 6 strikeouts, but I think the strikeouts will help him navigate through 17.5 or 17 pitching outs or 6 full innings of work to cash us. So using the strikeout rate of the team that he is facing as kind of a way that he is going to navigate through the 6 innings of work, I think the punch outs will play a pretty big part in that. So play number 1 is going to be Montgomery over 17. You can get him at 16.5 on Sleeper currently, and like I said, this may bump to 17 or 17.5 on other sites as well. Next, let's take a look at a couple of these Nerfies. So my favorite Nerfie today is probably the Morton Glasnow Nerfie, followed by the Verlander Darvish Nerfie. So let's hop back over to Props.cash and take a look at these two. So if we head over to the Nerfie rates, let's take a look at Morton and Glasnow. So Charlie Morton currently sitting 63% on the year, 5-3 when he is on the road when it comes to Nerfies. And Glasnow is at 75% at home with a 3-1, but he has a stronger 86% overall. So he is also 3-0 when he is pitching on the road. So Glasnow should be able to get his way through the first 3. And I do see Morton as a good enough pitcher to get through the top 3 of the order in Tampa Bay. As the top 3 of the order is they're power hitters, but they're also very strikeout heavy. Charlie Morton's got some good strikeout stuff. I think he's able to navigate his way through. The implied probability for the Nerfie is currently set at about 60%. If we look at what the juice on it is currently, we'd be looking for Nerfies. You want anything about minus 110 or higher is like a sensational line for a Nerfie. So let's take a look what this one's set at currently, minus 121 to the under. So this one's got some big time juice, and they agree that if one side is going to be taking the lead in the first inning, it is going to be the Rays. Like we said, Glasnow is more of a sure thing. The issue is going to be Morton, if anything. So the books agree with that. And again, I do think Morton is more than a good enough pitcher to get through the top of the order here. Let's take a look what they have going out today, if not a final lineup, at least a projected lineup. So Yandy Diaz, Wander Franco, Brandon Lowe, and then possibly Randy Arozarena. So I think that, you could get deeper into this and you could look up each and every one's appearances versus Charlie Morton to see how they have done. But I'm not going to do all that on stream. But if you would like to look into it further, you certainly can. As you know now that Charlie Morton is the bigger concern of the two. But again, I do see them making it through 1 inning without a run being scored. Next, we're going to be looking at that Mets game. Mets-Padres. So first inning, minus 116. This one's also got the juice that we're looking for, that over minus 110, minus 115 range. So this under is certainly in play according to the books. Let's head over here and take a peek at the rates for both pitchers. So Verlander, okay, he got a slow start to the year, and if you've been actually watching baseball, you know that Verlander's been pitching a hell of a lot better lately. So this road rate of 2-3 doesn't really concern me, as he probably was something like 0-3 to begin the season and then hit a couple nerfies recently as he has been a hell of a lot better, like I said. And then you got Yu Darvish pitching at home where he's comfortable, hitting at a 71% rate, 79% overall. So again, you have the same kind of thing where you have Yu Darvish and then you have the Mets who can't buy themselves a win. So you got Darvish is probably the stronger side of this nerfy. Okay, so let's take a look and see what the books have to say about that. They agree. The Padres are the team that has the money on them. If either side is going to score, the favorite is the Padres, and that makes complete sense as the Padres hitters are much more dangerous than the Mets first three are, as well as the fact that the nerfy rate for Yu Darvish has been a lot higher than it has in the case of Verlander. So despite again having one pitcher that's it's kind of a lot stronger than the other when it comes to their rates, I'm not too concerned in them being able to work the beginning of the order. In this case, let's see what we'd be looking at. We'd be looking at Kim, Tatis, Soto, and possibly Machado. I think Verlander can work his way through these guys without a problem, especially with these first two righty-righty matchups. I think that'll go smooth. Juan Soto might be an issue. Hopefully he doesn't hit a dinger. As long as he doesn't, I think he should be just fine. So that is going to be play number 2. It's hard to really give reasons and justify nerfies outside of the rates, and the rates and the numbers are things that I value in giving plays, and the numbers aren't really here for this nerfy, so it's a little bit of a force, but this is just like something that on the eye test passes really well. As we've seen Verlander's improvement, and we see Darvish's rates are good to begin with against like we said, a Mets team who really can't buy a win lately. The bats are not working, so I have faith in this nerfy staying under. So that is going to be plays 2 and 3. And then let's quickly look at Hunter Brown and Andrew Abbott. Andrew Abbott is probably one of my favorite pitchers right now. This dude is a beast. A beast. Let's take a look at him first. So I would prefer his outs over 17.5. Can't get that. I don't like the strikeouts at 7.5 against the Brewers. I think he can get there, but I think there's a possibility that he lands on 7. So I'm going to be safe about it, and I'm going to take the fantasy score. So I do believe he will get over the 6 innings of work. Let's take a look at this on here so you can kind of look at the lines and justify how you get this, how I'm working the fantasy score out in my head. All right. So pitching outs at minus 156, pretty strong over. So let's give him 18 outs. That's 18 points. Okay. His runs allowed plus 109 at 205. So they're suggesting under 2.5 runs. So let's call it 2. So that would give him a quality start if he went 6 innings and had under 2.5 earned runs. So that would be a 4-point bonus. So we'd be looking at 18 plus 4 is 22, minus 6 for the 2 runs earned. That would bring us down to 16 fantasy points. Like I said, I think he could land on 7 strikeouts due to the juice being at plus 114 to the over at 7.5. Let's call it 6 to be very cautious about how we're adding these totals up. So we're currently at 16. We'll call it 6 strikeouts at 3 points apiece. That's 18 more. That's 34. And then let's see what his probability for the win is, because the win would take us to 40 fantasy points. If he had 7 strikeouts, we'd be looking at 16 and 21. That's 37. That would put us on the hook. So basically, is what we would need from Abbott. We would need either 1 run scored, we would need 8 strikeouts, or we would need over 6 innings. So we need 6.1. If we got 6.1 innings of work and 7 strikeouts, 2 earned runs against, he would get there. But even if he only gets 6 Ks, he gives up 2 runs. These are all worst case scenarios, and he just makes just 18 just through 6, gets no extra work on top of the 6th inning. Let's see what his probability to record a win is, as the win bonus would put him over the top. Andrew Abbott. So Corbin Burnes is the favorite for the win, not Abbott currently. So I disagree with this. I think that since he wins the game today, I think that Abbott does record the win, because I think Abbott's strongest point of where he pitches is his strikeout upside and his ability to keep the ball in the park. So if they can limit the home runs, he's not been somebody who gives up a lot of hits either. So if we can keep the runs limited and keep that ball in the park and keep it to even 1 run allowed in those 6 innings, he should be able to eclipse the fantasy point mark. Again, if we feel he can get 8 strikeouts, he easily gets there. So it really just depends where his strikeouts fall and where those earned runs fall, and we're talking a difference of 1 strikeout and 1 earned run only. So I am taking this over. It's going to be tight. These lines are meant to be tight, guys. It's not meant to be flying over with 55 fantasy points. It's at 37.5 for a reason. I think 37 is probably the low we see, and a hook would be a worst case scenario. No, that's not true. I guess if he doesn't get the win, it would be about 34.5, and we'd be 1 short. If I believed he was going to get 8 strikeouts, though, I'd be on the strikeout prop. I believe he's going to get 7. So this one, you can take or leave. I left it on the first one, and I'm a little mad at myself that I took the Acuna runs, just because he is facing Glass now. So I do prefer the Hunter Brown play, even though I think asking 7 is asking a little much. I think that he can get the push for sure at 6. It's 5.5 on Sleeper, where I'm doing most of my betting. Most of my betting does happen on Sleeper, guys. That's why if I take these L's over on Prizepicks, it's not a big deal. These are more just kind of for entertainment and fun purposes for me, and, free entries today. It's a free flex entry and a free entry I'm using, so I'm not losing a nickel on these. So if Hunter does push or Hunter does miss, not the end of the world. But we're looking at an amazing matchup here. Got Hunter Brown, very, very, very high strikeout upside against Seattle, who is a very poor team when it comes to the strikeout. So let's take a look at Hunter Brown. It's nothing that is overly impressive, as he does have a lot of games where he just kind of doesn't get there for whatever reason, and then just goes nuts, and then doesn't get there, and then just goes nuts. So this game, they have him expected to go nuts, as do I. He is facing the 2nd highest strikeout team versus righties on the season, and the 4th highest over the past 30 games. Let's take a look to verify that on Fangraphs. So right-handed pitchers against Seattle, they are coming in at the number 2 at 26.2% over the date range that I have chosen from 6/1 through current, so over the past 36 days. They are striking out at 26.2%. Absolute trash, dropping 1 out of every 4 batters to the strikeout on average. So if Hunter is able to get through 6 innings of work, that would be approximately 24, 25 batters. And if 1 in every 4 is dropping, that would be 6 on the head. So I think that's worst case scenario would be a push, mathematically speaking. Let's take a look at Hunter Brown and what he is able to do on the other side. Let's see if I can figure this out real quickly. If I remember how to get to the pitchers. Give me one sec, guys, and see if I can find it. Okay, cool. So let's see. I don't know if there's a search function on here. Let's see if we can do it like this. Brown. Does that work? No, it doesn't. Okay. So we're going to have to just find him here. We're going to see where his K rates fall. Let's first do these by K percentage to the highest. And then we want to also filter in a sample size here, at least 18 innings pitched. All right. So, best pitchers versus righties. Starting pitchers, let's get back to the splits. Versus, right-handed. Okay, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. So whether this is just overall K percentage in this time period. So, Brown. See, Andrew Abbott way up that list. I'm surprised Hunter Brown's not on the first page, actually. There he is. Okay. Hunter Brown, 24.6%. So he is throwing, on average, 24.6%. So he is dropping literally almost the exact same percentage as the strikeout rate of Seattle was at 26.2%. So I was kind of just trying to show whether or not I thought his K rate was going to be even higher than that 26.2%, so that we had even better outlook on the strikeout percentages, but it's basically the same rate. So his Ks per 9 is 9.1. So he is striking out one person per inning. And like I said, if he goes 6, he'd see 24, 25 batters. Mathematically, he'd have 6 strikeouts. Well, mathematically here, if he goes 6 innings, he's going to get 6 strikeouts. So I think that was right on the head with that projection at 6. Let's see what props.cash has as a projection for Hunter. 6.33. So I'm on the same page with props.cash. I'm on the same page with the stats, and I think that Hunter Brown will go over this 5.5 line. I think he will, worst case scenario, push the 6. I think he can get us upwards of 7, 8, 9 strikeouts for Seattle. You got a team full of strikeout kings, Ty France, Julio Rodriguez, and the like. So Hunter Brown going to be the last play. Sorry the video ran long, guys. 5 plays for you today. If you want to play them all for your $20 flex, protected flex, get yourself a nice 5X. Or if you want to add one more, like I said, I would generally run a 6-man and never run a 5-man, but I do want the 10X. And if I flex a 4-man, it's only 5X. So I do want this, but I can't run the 6-man due to having that free entry at 12.5K. So with that being said, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the research. Best of luck if you are tailing these plays. And until next week, Friday, after the All-Star break, best of luck and peace.